guide for this tour. Also would like to introduce one VIP, our captain, a very important person. So this is Captain Anand. Okay, it's a beautiful Saturday, perfect weather for the duck tour. Earlier on, as you know, it has been raining heavily in the morning, so you can't see much if it's raining. We have to lower the shield, but right now, very nice weather. There are two safety points to take note. First, when the duck is on the road, please remain seated. Second, for those sitting next to the windows, especially children, never put your hands out of the duck. Okay? Do not put your hands out. There are two parts of the duck tour. First, we will go for the water tour that will take about 30 minutes, followed by the land tour in the city area. So sit back, relax and enjoy the view. Singapore flyer on your right. To me, the flyer looks like a big bicycle wheel. Does it? Like a bicycle wheel? Take note of the operating time. The flyer operating between 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Splash point. Captain will drive the duck and dive into the water with us. Okay, let's get ready to be wet. Wow, looks very excited, huh? Children. Not worried at all. Okay, let's get ready. Captain will make the move. And here we go. Okay, get ready everyone. Let's count 1, 2, 3. Not too bad, quite mild, huh? I would say quite mild. Okay. opposite side because you may take the opposite side of the scenery on your return trip. Enjoy the water tour. You can see people enjoying the water sports on the left, doing kayaking, canoeing, and you can even play or do the dragon boat training here. The trees, the long white building, that's the F1 peak building, PIT. So this is the starting point and finishing point of the F1 race. You can see the wording on the building, Formula 1 Singapore Grand Prix. Singapore used to be the only night race since 2008. No longer now because other places also hosted the F1 during night time. For example, in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Dubai. So they hosted the race during night time as well. So Singapore is no longer unique in the night race circuit. Of course, you will not miss the huge Singapore Flyer. On a good weather, from the Singapore Flyer, you are able to see places as far as islands of Indonesia and part of Malaysia. To complete one round of the Flyer, it will take about 30 minutes. This Flyer is taller than the London Eye in UK, but this is not the world's tallest. Currently, the world's tallest Flyer is in Dubai, Middle East. I think it is called Dubai Eye, EYE. Singapore Flyer is only 165 meter tall, 165. Dubai Eye is about 250 meter, much taller than the Singapore Flyer. Yeah, this what do you call that? I don't know. A boat. This boat is trying to clear up or pick up the debris or the rubbish after the rain in the morning. Yeah? So it's picking up the litters. Have you wondered what is this water area that the duck is traveling? Is this water sea water or fresh water? I will tell you in the later part of the tour, yeah, more about this water area. You may know that Singapore is among the top financial centers in the world. Based on the latest survey this year, Singapore is ranked number 3. The top 2 financial centers are New York, London. Number 4 is Hong Kong. So from this position, on your right hand side, you have a very nice view, the full view of the financial center of Singapore. Enjoy the view. To share with you the whole area in front of us, that's the Gardens by the Bay. This garden was built 10 years ago, and the main attractions are the 2 white buildings. They are kind of a greenhouse. We call it the conservatories. The one on the left, the taller one, that's the cloud forest, and on the right, the shorter one, the flower dome. So if you are a nature lover, I would strongly recommend both the flower dome and the cloud forest. It's worth a visit. If if you are interested in plants and trees.
Marina Bay Sands. MBS was built in 2010, 2010. And right now we are moving into this Marina Bay. Yeah, here is Marina Bay. And on your right, the colorful stadium together with the multi-purpose floating platform in front. So we organize many activities and events on the floating platform. For example, our National Day Parade was held here. You can play a game of soccer match on the platform, and we organize musical concert here as well. By the way, on your right, the purple duck is a female duck. How do we know it's a female? How do we know it's a female? Because the eyelash is longer, so it's a female. Yeah? We have two female ducks and one male. The duck behind is the male. The duck behind. And if you like Apple products, iPhone, iPad, you may go there on the left. The round black building is the Apple boutique shop. You may go there for your Apple products shopping. The round black building. And also on your right, the two buildings that Singaporeans like to call it the durian because of the spiky or thorny outlook. So this durian buildings is the Esplanade Theatres by the Bay. This is the world-class arts performing center. On the left, the building is the concert hall, and on the right, the performing theatre. The Esplanade was built in 2002. So this year we are celebrating 20th anniversary of the Esplanade Theatres by the Bay. Every Saturday, Sunday evening, there are free performances outside the Esplanade, under the white tentage. So you may go there in the evening, enjoy the free performances. Yeah, very interesting. Also, would like to share with you one interesting building on your right in front of us. Many children told me that the black or the dark building over there looks like what? A spaceship or UFO. Yeah, you see that? And that spaceship building is the Supreme Court. This Supreme Court was designed by one very well-known architect, a British named Norman Foster. Yeah, you can Google Norman Foster. Interestingly, next to the Supreme Court on the left-hand side, the building with the green dome that used to be the old Supreme Court, and now the old Supreme Court has been converted into the National Gallery and Arts Museum. So you have a very nice view of the two Supreme Courts, different in terms of the architecture design. Yeah? Right in front is the icon of Singapore. Tourists like to come here to take pictures with the Merlion, showing that they have been here to Singapore. Very popular place for tourists. For guests on the left, do not worry about photo taking of the Merlion. The duck will make a U-turn later. You may take the Merlion after the turn. Okay? You may want to take the MBS first before the duck making the turn. Picture for you.
Photo avec le lion. Regardez, Arthur. Arthur, photo.
Duck on the left, that's the male, yeah, the male duck. You can see the eyelash is shorter. After the Merlion, on your right, MBS, Marina Bay Sands. The most interesting building must be the one on the left-hand side, the white building. And this white building is the Arts Science Museum. Many people told me that the museum looks like the lotus flower. But one guest disagreed with me this morning. She told me that the museum looks more like a bunch of bananas. Or some may say the museum looks like the gloves of the baseball game, GLOVE, yeah, the gloves. Anyway, there are exhibitions inside the museum. If you are interested, you may wish to visit the Arts Science Museum. Also, every night at the center portion of the MBS, there is this water laser show. 2 show times every night at the center MBS. The show times are at 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. 15 minutes duration, 1-5. If you are interested, you may want to walk around the MBS in the evening, have your dinner, shopping, and enjoy the laser show later. In front of us, we are approaching a pedestrian bridge, the bridge that connects the whole Marina Bay. The reason I mentioned the bridge is because of the design. If you observe carefully, the bridge resembles the DNA structure, and you may know that DNA is the basic building blocks of life, LIFE. So this bridge symbolizes renewal and continuity, and this is our aspiration for the Marina Bay. This is called the Helix Bridge, H-E-L-I-S, Helix Bridge. For your information, the government has announced that we will replace the stadium together with the floating platform with a new one. The construction of the new stadium will start next year. So not only the new stadium, but there will also be a public swimming pool built. So by 2026, everything will be ready. Imagine you can do your swimming in the pool facing the Marina Bay. Very exciting project coming up. In front of the stadium is actually part of the F1 race circuit, so people can enjoy from the stadium the F1. But because of the construction next year, the F1 race will not pass through the stadium next year. Instead, the race will be detoured to the road behind. MBS, on top is the Sky Park. So you will need to buy tickets to the top of the building, Sky Park. One person will need to pay $26 to the Sky Park. $26. Information, the surrounding places that you are seeing here, including Singapore Flyer, MBS, Gardens by the Bay, all these places actually were built on reclaimed land. Many years ago, the surrounding was nothing at all. The surrounding used to be an open sea. So we have done a lot of land reclamation. All these places were built on reclaimed land. As you know, Singapore is a very small island, so one of the ways to expand physically, increase our size is mainly by land reclamation. Since independence in 1965, our land area has increased by about 25%, mainly through land reclamation. is this water area about? Is this water sea water or fresh water? Yeah, I think the gentleman, yeah, is correct. Very good. So to share with you, the whole water area that the duck is traveling is a reservoir that collects rainwater. All the rainwater will be collected in the city areas such as Chinatown, Orchard Road, and Singapore River. And this is called the Marina Reservoir. Yeah, Marina Reservoir. So what happened was we built the Marina Barrage on your right. You can see the small black building. There are many people on top of the building flying kites, K-I-T-E. And next to the building there's a bridge. The bridge and as a dam, D-A-M. So there are gates that can be opened and closed on the bridge. This Marina Barrage was built because we want to create a reservoir here. Yeah? So once the barrage was completed, it separated the open sea beyond from here. You can see there are many big cargo ships in the open sea. Because of the separation, it took many years for the rainwater to convert this area from sea water into fresh water. Yeah? So this is why we built the Marina Barrage to make a reservoir here. This is called the Marina Reservoir. There are altogether 17 reservoirs in Singapore, 17. This Marina Reservoir is the biggest and the only reservoir built in the city area. Also on your right is the Gardens by the Bay. This is the Bay East. The one that you have seen earlier behind, that was the Bay South. So there are two parts of Gardens by the Bay. And these two gardens are connected together. You can do your jogging, cycling from there, through the Marina Barrage and go all the way up to the Financial Center and MBS. It's a very nice recreation place for people to enjoy. If you are interested, you may want to rent a bicycle. There's a bicycle rental shop at the Singapore Flyer, so you can cycle around this area. Shall play a game now. A game with two questions asked. If you know the answer, raise your hand. You get a dark sticker for the correct answer. Yeah, Dragon Boat training. So, first question. Raise your hand. If you know the answer, raise your hand. First question, I mentioned a lot on the Marina Barrage and the reservoir. So the question is, what's the name of this reservoir? What's the name of this reservoir? Anyone? The lady is correct, Marina Reservoir. Okay, Marina Reservoir. So you get a dark sticker. For the rest, do not worry. You have one more chance. One more chance. Second question, we have 3 ducks all together, and the question is, what's the name of this duck? Think behind.
correct, huh? Katrina, answer is here. Not Donald Duck, okay? Not Donald Duck. Get the same present. Stadium on your right. The stadium has a seating capacity of 55,000 people. Shall continue the second part of the tour, the land tour. You may notice that the duck on the road is very bumpy. You may be jumping up and down on the road because this duck was used as a military vehicle for the soldier during the Vietnam War. Yeah? Some of you may remember the Vietnam War was between 1965 to 1975. And to operate this duck vehicle, our captain needs to have two different driving licenses, one on the road and the other on the water, to drive this duck. Once again on your left, the F1 Peak building. Any questions so far? Very quiet, no question at all. So I have to keep talking for 1 hour non-stop. No problem, I will ask you some question instead, yeah? To see how much you know about Singapore. So one of the most common questions people ask about Singapore is what's the population here? How many people are there? Anyone? 5 million is very close, very close. To be exact, to be exact, the latest population is 5.6 million people. Not many. I like to compare Hong Kong with Singapore. Hong Kong has more. Hong Kong has about 7.5 million people. And not all the 5.6 million are Singaporean. Only 2/3 are Singaporean. Less than 4 million people. The rest are foreigner. They are living here. We are back here, Helix Bridge. Yeah? Helix Bridge. And you may know that Singapore is a multiracial society, different races of people living here. Among Singaporeans, the Chinese population is about 75%, three-quarter, followed by Malay, the Malay population 13%, 1/3, and the Indian population 9%. Not only multiracial, but multi-religion society. For the Chinese and the Indian people here, most of their ancestors, the grandparent, great-grandparent, they came from China and India, especially the southern part. Yeah? In China will be Guangdong and Hokkien province. In India will be mainly from Tamil Nadu state. Yeah? For example, myself, I'm a Chinese, and my grandparents, they came from Guangdong province. Another question that commonly guests ask is, what's the size of Singapore? Everybody knows it's a very small island. Again, compared to Hong Kong, Hong Kong is bigger than Singapore. Hong Kong is about 1.5 times of Singapore. So the size of Singapore is 730 square kilometer. But I think it's very hard for you to imagine how big 730 square kilometer. Put it simply, the shape of Singapore is like your lips, LIP, it's like your lips, diamond shape. So from east to west, the distance from east to west of Singapore is only about 45 kilometer. It's just like running a full distance marathon. Full marathon is 42 kilometer. Yeah? And from north to south is even shorter. North to south is only 21 kilometer, half a marathon. So this is how big Singapore is. Yeah? Of course, compared to your country, we are very, very small. I think for the children, it's very difficult to locate where Singapore from the world map. So people like to joke, one politician like to joke that Singapore is a little red dot in the world map, little red dot. So we like to call ourselves a little red dot, D-O-T, little red dot. For those who have not been to the Singapore Zoo, I would recommend you, if you have time. Personally, I like the Singapore Zoo very much. I go there very often. There are 3 zoos altogether. Singapore Zoo, like for children, even adults like myself enjoy going to the zoo. Monument that under renovation, that's the St. Andrew's Cathedral, built in the 19th century. And right in front, you can see again the Supreme Court. Remember the spaceship building?
on your right, the Parliament House. Singapore River is next to the Parliament House. Remember I mentioned the old Supreme Court earlier, the building with the green dome, and it's on your left. This old wedding couple taking pictures at the National Gallery. So this old Supreme Court was built in 1939 when Singapore was still under the British. A neoclassical architecture design. Take a look, the old Supreme Court, and now becomes the National Gallery. A lot of people like to come here to take pictures. Graduation, picture, wedding, photo. Some photo taking at the National Gallery on your left. Actually is part of the F1 race circuit as well. Yeah. So some history of Singapore during World War II. You may know that Singapore was under the Japanese during World War II. Singapore was under the Japanese for 3.5 years, between 1942 to 1945. On your right, there's a tall monument, and this is the Civilian War Memorial. It's dedicated to the civilian victim, not military, but civilian victim during the war. The memorial consists of 4 pillars. These 4 pillars represents the 4 races: the Chinese, Malay, Indians, and minority. That's why the 4 pillars. In front of us, on your left, another national monument, and this is the famous Raffles Hotel. The hotel has been operating here for more than 130 years. It may look very new, doesn't look like a national monument, because the hotel went through a major upgrade 3 years ago. So this hotel is well known for one thing. Anyone knows? Yeah, I believe a lot of you knows that Singapore Sling, because the cocktail drink was originated from the Raffles Hotel more than 100 years ago. So many visitors worldwide, they like to go there inside the long bar, L-O-N-G, for the drink. If you are interested, you may want to visit, you may want to go there for the drink. The drink will cost you $42 per drink before tax. A lot of guests, when I mentioned the price, they were kind of surprised. Okay. If not, you may want to stay in the Raffles Hotel during your next visit. Yeah, next time. You may stay there. Minimum 1 night will cost you $1,000 minimum. Yeah. So talk a little bit about the fight during World War II. Singapore fought against the Japanese. Yeah. And I like to mention that especially to my Singaporean friends, because during the fight between Singapore and Japanese, it took only a short time, only 1 week. The fight lasted before Singapore surrendered to the Japanese. Yeah? So once again, on your left, the Raffles Hotel. And on your right, the Civilian War Memorial. And also on your right, you have a very nice view of the Financial Center. Initially, the financial center started on the right-hand side. The buildings such as UOB, OCBC. So that was the initial financial center. Because of expansion, slowly we expand towards the left, and now the latest expansion is the left-hand side, DBS, HSBC building. That are the latest development. Probably few years later, when you come back to Singapore, a few years later, the scenery there will change a lot, because those area on the left were built on reclaimed land, lots of empty land ready for future development. So probably you will see different scenery after some time. Very lucky today. The weather is super. Usually at this time very hot, especially on the water, and everybody when they come back here Suntec, everybody sleeping. That's why we have the sign no yawning here. Yeah, so I don't see anyone sleeping. Very good. The weather is very kind, very nice for us. The way there are 4 official languages in Singapore, 4 official languages. English, Chinese, Malay and Tamil. If you are interested, you may want to visit Orchard Road. Starting last week, the whole Orchard Road has this Christmas light up. So you may want to go there in the evening, taking pictures along the whole Orchard Road. Quite interesting, the decoration at night. I would like to thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the tour, know more about Singapore. Lastly, if you like our service, you may want to reward our staff. There's a small contribution box under the bell. If you like our service, you may want to make a contribution. Lastly, would like to wish you a beautiful weekend, nice Saturday evening, happy holiday. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Thank you.